welcome back again. So today we are going to start with chapter 5, that is education. So starting with the functions of education. So first let's talk about the two types of education. First is informal and the second is formal. So informal education takes place outside the classrooms or at work, home, and daily interaction. Means that they are outside the school and it could be at home. For example, if you're giving private papers, so this is called informal education. And formal education takes place in the classroom or school where there is set content syllabus to be taught, and the informal learning during lessons is called hidden curriculum. The informal learning in schools is called hidden curriculum. What is hidden curriculum? Hidden curriculum is the behavior which is taught except the book or outside the book, and the teacher's behavior is also included in this hidden curriculum. So education was not compulsory before, and there was no schools. Norms and values were taught by the parents and children, and they were told what to do. So education is nowadays more important. Moving to education as the agencies of socialization. So what is socialization? Socialization is described in chapter 2, but I haven't taught you about chapter 2 because we have a choice. So I'll just tell you about the socialization and then primary and secondary socialization. So socialization is the process of learning culture. If you are learning your culture, it is called the socialization. And primary socialization happens within the family. The process of learning culture within the family is primary socialization. Secondary socialization comes after primary socialization, which means to learn the norms and the values of the society of the other. So it includes media, the peer group, social expectations. So social expectations are the ways in which people are expected to behave, and the agencies of socialization can be seen as social control. So social control is in a way in which people are forced to behave. So children may be punished if they break rules or they disobey teachers. So this is called sanections. Sanections are when anyone in which something negative done, so they receive something negative from other person. And if they are doing good and they are listening to the teacher, so they are rewarded. So these are two things that is important, so I have told you. Now let's go to the functions of education according to functionalist, Marxist, and feminist. So functionalist thinks, they basically believes that education has several functions. School tells the norms and the values of a society. They contribute to the well-being of the society. They continue the process of socialization, and when they socialize the children, education helps them feel that they have shared in trust with other members of the society. So this is important for the functionalist, and the thing that the values may be based on religion as well, because being in school shares some experiences, singing national anthem together, singing national flag, or learning patriotic slogans. One of the most important thing is, according to functionalists, is the importance of individual achievement. And second function is to produce people with skills and abilities for economy of the society. Criticisms of functionalist views are that the school has no set of shared values. There is no strong connection between schools and work. People are selected for jobs not by their ability but more by their class, ethnicity, and gender. About the Marxist view, that they believe that the education system is common value system as an ideology of working class. They think that will make them good workers for capitalist system. For them, children go to school to be punctual and to do as they are told by the authority. And socialization and schooling is different to upper and middle class. So they basically again gives a conflict between the classes. And now feminists, they always see the division between two genders. So education, to feminists say that education has always been affected by gender. Education is important for boys, and they argue that schools send messages to boys and girls that boys are superior. This may be for following reasons: that girls are taught different content from boys. For example, some subjects are taught to females like sewing, cooking, childcare. These are some of the subjects nowadays taught, and the teachers encourage boys having higher expectations from them because they have to handle their career. And gender role models in schools are often men. Females are not seen as role models, and female gives impression that men are better suited for leadership roles. So these are the views that they argue So coming on education and social mobility. So according to functionalists, that education system permits social mobility. It has social mobility. If there is equality of opportunity, people are able to teach the level they deserve. This is called meritocracy. Meritocracy is the system in which individual teaches social position they deserved based on their talent, skills and all. Other sociologists have other perspective. They challenge the idea of meritocracy exist. They pointing that gender, class and ethnicity have bigger part than ability of children. And Marxists also reject the idea of meritocracy. They say the success depends on class, gender and ethnicity. So this is some little points you have to remember. This is not lengthy more. So let's talk about the different types of schools found today. So pre-primary schools are schools that are known as preschool, which is before the primary education. It is before the primary education, and they are designed to help very young children to get used to of school environment. It focuses on physical, social and emotional skills. And what is primary schools are elementary schools in which children receive their first years of academic education. They learn how to be in school and all. So let's talk about secondary schools. Secondary schools are often higher schools, and secondary schools are compulsory in modern societies. In this stage, students are taught different subjects by different teachers of each. Okay, so there are three types of secondary schools. First one is grammar school. Grammar schools are for academic children. Grammar schools teach math, science and other subjects for GCE O-level examinations. Then there are technical schools. Technical schools are specialized in technical education, helping prepare for manual occupations. And the modern secondary schools are offering basic education with fewer opportunities. They had no more opportunities. And the tertiary education is usually the universities. So the universities are the higher level and they are not compulsory. So it is called as post compulsory education. That means that it is not compulsory, and it is mainly for the mature students who are grown ups and they know. So let's come to some more schools. There are faith schools. Faith schools are schools that are controlled by religious organizations. In faith schools, the students are taught about their religion, their culture. So in faith schools, usually, for example, in the picture you can see this is a Muslim school, and they are reciting Quran. So these are faith schools in which more than education, Islamic principles or faith principles are followed. Then there comes same-sex schools. So same-sex schools are there that they often take girls or boys. So this is the gender difference, you can say. Then it comes two main schools that are private and state. Private schools, you know, that are about, and the state schools are government schools. So let's talk about first the private schools. Private schools are that schools that are not run by the government. They are funded mainly by tuition fees, and these schools are free from any restrictions from the government. And private schools are mostly for children whose parents can afford, or the children having scholarships, and the children in these schools are guaranteed to have higher paid careers. So state schools are schools that are run by the government directly or indirectly. These schools are funded from taxations and all. So these schools are for people who cannot usually afford them. So for private schools and against private schools, let's talk about some points of for private schools. They may have smaller classes but more facilities and resources. Parents have right to spend money on better education, and some places are available without fees to children from less wealthy backgrounds. And there are better chances of good jobs after if you are studying in private school. You have more opportunities than state schools. And against private schools, that most parents cannot afford. It's wrong that the wealth can buy better education, and they educate only wealthy people mainly. And teaching and results are often better, but this is due to more individual attention because of smaller class. And usually in private schools there are smaller classes, and in government schools there are more classes and there are larger classes. So in private schools are larger than state schools, and they give more opportunities, but still they are not good for the people who cannot afford, and they play an important role in ensuring that higher classes can pass on their privileges. This is the main point, that they play an important role in ensuring that the higher classes can pass on these privileges to children. So some private schools are religious, but others, state schools, are not mostly religious. Okay, let's come to other types of education, that is selective education. Selective education is that some kids or people are selected and others are excluded, usually on the basis of their abilities. So this is the selective education. And in comprehensive system is non-selective secondary schools accepting all the children of the age in the area. They do not select the children, but they take all the children. Okay, so coming to academies. Academies are usually not schools, but they replace schools and they are under control of any local authority, as they are funded directly by the government. They teach in replace of schools. So some are free schools. Free schools are the current government allows parents, teachers and charities to set up schools funded by the government. So these are free schools. And specialist schools are that they specialize in one or more subjects such as sports, arts, business, engineering, maths, computing science, music, humanities and all languages. So this is the specialist schools that have every subject they offer. So coming to comprehensives, we just discussed about comprehensive, that comprehensive do not take selective students, just accept all the children. So let's talk about the favor of comprehensives. That favor is that they allow equal opportunity and have equal chances of succeeding. They have strong community spirit, bringing children together, and the children are no longer called failures. And fewer people leave without qualifications, so this is also benefit. And benefits for working class, that they cannot go in any other schools and they can afford. Okay, so against comprehensive is that they bring down standards, because brighter students have to work in the same speeds as the less able students. And these schools are not very diverse, they are large and impersonal and may have discipline problems as well. And these schools are not comprehensive. They are although comprehensive schools, but they are not comprehensive because they provide different education to people with different abilities. And maybe governments failed to abolish private schools and allowed tripartite system to continue. So these are the some reasons. So up for today, thanks for watching my video. I will come with part 2, and the notes for O-level GCE sociology is available. Comment me down if you want O-level notes.